Welcome to part 4 of Let's Play Legend of the Shadow Warriors by Stephen Hand. At the end of the last part, I was on paragraph 398. Let's reread this as a reminder. Troubled times await you, the enigmatic figure continues, but the horned god sends a gesture of goodwill. Find the man of numbers or his book. Without either, you will fail. Then the face is gone. You decide to ally yourself with the elemental forces whom Jack in the Green serves as a messenger. You will be the Earth Mother's champion against the evil Shadow Warriors. Gaunt is actually much further south than it appears on your map, and it is night time when you finally reach the High Town wall. Passing through the north gate, you hear noises of unrest and catch the smell of smoke, yet you don't see any town guards, no gate wardens, no one at all. You are wondering what to do when you see a young man come running out of his home. He shouts, "Go away, you're not my wife." A young woman comes after him, smiling. No, let me start again. A young woman comes after him. Smiling, she tugs at his wrist and says, "But of course I'm your wife, silly. Who else could I be? Now stop being foolish and come back inside." The man refuses and they struggle violently. If you want to try and put a stop to their fight, turn to 284. If you would rather leave them alone and make for the town centre, turn to 231. Okay, we're going to leave them alone and head for the town centre, so 231. Now, the further you go into the town, the more you see of its madness. Brother fighting brother, the town militia divided, houses being burned down, and worse besides. Yet while half of the people seem frightened, the others seem relaxed. They smile while they fight and try to persuade their more worried opponents that they are being foolish. You decide it would be best to remain unseen, so you move about using whatever cover is available. It is while you are tiptoeing between buildings that a hand clamps over your mouth and an arm pulls you back into an alley. A woman's voice whispers, "Hush, be still." If you do as the woman commands, turn to 158. If you strike out at her, turn to 129. Okay, we're going to do as the woman commands and turn to 158. Relieved, the woman leads you further down the alley. When your eyes get used to the darkness, you can make out that the woman is in a sorry state indeed. Her clothes are filthy and tattered, and there is a madness in her eyes. She mumbles, "They came 7 days ago, and they left this morning. You're a stranger, you're strong, they're taking over, you can't kill them. Soon they'll come for me, and for you too, unless you do something. Perhaps you can beat them, the mandrakes, taking our places." Her words tumble out in a repetitive, almost insane babble. Then she stops. She is looking over your shoulder back up to the entrance to the alley where a finely attired young man is standing. He smiles and extends his hand. "Welcome, stranger. I am Enion, the Burgomeister." Yeah, that's a misspelling of the German word Bürgermeister, which is German for mayor. Anyway, I am Enion, the Burgomeister. Ah, I see you've been forced to listen to the ramblings of the town idiot. The old fool's been hopelessly insane for years. You look back towards the wretched woman. Seeing the doubt growing in your eyes, she gasps, "A mirror. Do you have a mirror? If you have a mirror, turn to 362. If you do not, turn to 174. Okay, and there she is. Okay, we do not have a mirror. So we're going to turn to 174. You don't understand the woman's odd request and don't have a mirror anyway, so you just shrug your shoulders in uncertainty. Frustrated and no longer able to contain her fears, the woman runs off towards the far end of the alleyway. The Burgermeister calls over his shoulder for some help, then laughs. Not the best company for a stranger to keep. It must all seem a tad peculiar, but everything will make perfect sense if you'll just come with me. All your instincts scream that there is something terribly wrong here. Will you attack the Burgermeister, turn to 252, make for the other end of the alley after the woman, turn to 84, or comply with Enion's wishes and go with him, turn to 31? Okay, we're going to make for the other end of the alley and after the woman, so we're going to turn to 84. When you rush out into the street at the far end of the alley, there is no sign of the woman, but you can hear footsteps coming up the alley behind you, so you keep on running. Wherever you go, you see more and more examples of chaos, all caused by the strange smiling people the woman called mandrakes. They are powerful fighters who bleed green blood but never seem to die. Their opponents, the real inhabitants of Gaunt, are totally outclassed, but the mandrakes don't kill their human foes unless they have to. They prefer to render their victims unconscious so that they can drag them off who knows where. You wish that there were something you could do to help the oppressed townsfolk, but the shouting and the footsteps dogging your heels remind you only too clearly that you yourself are still in peril. Now you can either keep heading the way you are going towards the south gate, turn to 184, or you can veer off and head for the nearest portion of the town wall, turn to 207. Okay, we're going to veer off and head for the nearest portion of the town wall and turn to 207. Shaking off Enion's mob, you come to the 10-yard high, the 30-foot high wall. If you have a rope and grapple, you may use it to scale the wall, turn to 300. Once on the other side, you will be able to tug the rope free quite easily. If you do not have a rope, you will have to head for the south gate after all, turn to 184. Okay, so do we have a rope and a grapple? Yes, we have a rope and grapple. There we go. So it's just there. That's a good job I checked because I couldn't remember whether I had one or not. Anyway, so we're going to turn to 300 because we have a rope and a grapple and we can pull it free quite easily. Anyway, turn to 300. Lungs almost burning. Let's start again. Lungs almost bursting, you flee from the mad town and are flung to the ground by a massive explosion. Gaunt has become an inferno. Huge clouds of smoke billow up into the air, bringing with them the strong smell of explosive powder. Is this the work of the mandrakes or an act of brave suicide? Rubble lands all around you as you slowly get to your feet, and a singed piece of paper floats gently down before you. It is a brightly coloured leaflet promoting the Circus of Dreams. You look at the it's difficult to read, this is quite blurry. You look at the dates on the paper. The circus was due to be in Gaunt for 7 days and was leaving this very morning. Throwing the handout aside, you take up the main trade route once more. Though weary, you walk through the night, and it is sunrise when you come to a fork in the road. Will you stay on the main trade route, turn to 267, or head southwest, turn to 227? Okay, we're going to stay on the main trade route and turn to 267. Though you are fit to drop with tiredness, you persist in your journey southwards. It is mid-afternoon when you first spy an oddly shaped hill to the east. As you look at the hill, you start to feel dizzy. If you have a green leaf brooch, turn to 90. If you do not, turn to 399. Okay, we do have a green leaf brooch, and therefore we're turning to 90. Once your dizziness clears, you find yourself standing at the foot of a grassy hill. Sorry about that, I'll start again. Once your dizziness clears, you find yourself standing at the foot of a grassy hill crowned by a circle of ancient standing stones. You have been transported to Calden Ring, heartland of the elemental gods. An awe-inspiring vision of the horned god fills the skies, while the ghostly sisters of time dance within the circle. It's interesting how people say fills the skies when there's only one sky. But, yeah, I just thought of that now. Anyway, not the most boring thing I've ever said, but I think that's quite interesting. Anyway, with the ghostly sisters of time, while the ghostly sisters of time dance within the circle. They are the past, present, and future manifestations of the Earth Mother, and they guard the spear of doom. The horned god speaks to you with a voice like the crashing of waves. You have been chosen to face Voivod, Lord of the Shadow Warriors. We once made the error of trying to burn out his fire, but could only imprison him. In the millennia which have passed, we have made good our error, and have forged the spear of doom, which gives death to the living and life to the dead. Take it and use it wisely. All at once you discover the spear in your hands, and you start to feel dizzy once more. Enter the spear in the equipment box of your adventure sheet, together with its life force, which you find by rolling one die and adding 5. The spear is not a normal weapon. You may use it instead of normal combat. You must decide whether or not to do so before you start any fight, and it will automatically defeat your foe, but you must also deduct 1 point from the spear's life force. If its life force drops to 0, the spear becomes useless. Now restore 6 points to your stamina, and if you came here from hustings, turn to 12, otherwise turn to 399. Okay, so we need to roll a d6. Let's do that. And we get a 1, so we add 5 to that, and that gives us 6. So Spear of Doom, Life Force 6, and a comma. And we also get 6 stamina points back. Puts us back up to 22. Lovely. Okay, so yeah, so the spear can defeat it can defeat an enemy instantly, but it uses 1 point from its life force. Okay, I'll just type that down as well. Use 1 point of life force to kill an enemy instantly. Whoops. And comma. There we go. Okay, so that's that. Anyway, so yeah, we did not come from hustings, so we're now returning to 399. Let's just have a look at the picture first. Lovely. There's the Spear of Doom. There's the Horned God. Looks like deer horn. Look like antlers. Deer horns, whatever. Anyway, yeah, they're called antlers. 399. Here we go. You find yourself on the main trade route far south of Cordon Ring. Ahead, you see a number of gaily coloured carts and caravans and a group of odd-looking folk. This is the Circus of Dreams, and the troupe is about to move on. It occurs to you that you could save some time on your journey by riding with them. It would also give you a chance to follow up any suspicions you may have about the circus's recent visit to Gaunt. Do you want to hurry along and ask the troupe for a lift, turn to 358, or keep your distance and continue walking alone, turn to 9? Okay. We're going to hurry along and ask the troupe for a lift, and therefore turn to 358. Here we go. Drawing nearer to the circus, you see that the dozen performers are an odd mix of acrobats, tumblers, animal trainers, and so on. Each is busy dealing with his or her own props. One figure seems to be in charge. It is a clown, a lithe woman already dressed in her show costume, her face covered with grease paint, depicting a fixed smile that looks almost sinister. You walk over to the clown and ask her where the circus is going and if the wagons have room for an extra passenger. Her face breaks into an even wider smile as she replies, "We are going to Shattuck. As for passage, you will have to earn your way. Are you amusing? Can you run a sideshow? Perhaps you know a trick or two. If you have Bartol's die, 10 to 138. If you don't, will you ask her to give you a chance to prove your worth, 10 to 214, or admit that there's nothing you can do that would be of use to the circus and turn away to continue your journey alone and on foot, 10 to 9. Okay. We are going to ask her to give us a chance to prove our worth. So we're going to turn to 214. You say to the clown, although I don't have much experience as a performer, I'm willing to learn. I'll have a go at anything once. The clown beams, her eyes displaying malicious glee. Will you indeed? Then she breaks off, and everyone gathers around while she goes to fetch some props. She places the head of a pantomime horse over your head. You can hardly see a thing through the holes cut in it. Then she puts 3 juggling balls in your hand and tells you to juggle with them. You have only just started when she grabs hold of you and starts spinning you around. As she does so, someone kicks you in the legs. Despite this obvious attempt to humiliate you, you must not drop a single ball. Test your skill. If you succeed, turn to 77. If you fail, turn to 67. Okay, so don't forget we have the our skill is 12, but we have the chainmail armor. Yeah, so let's test our skill. So we need this to be 11 or less, and it was 6, so we were successful. And that means we turn to 77. Yeah, because even though our skill is 12, we have to deduct a point from our skill because of the chainmail armor. Whoops. The clown curtsies and declaims, welcome to the dream circus. It brings fantasies to some and nightmares to others. You may ride with us to Shattuck. You assume that you are to ride inside the clown's wagon, but when you go to open the door, her hand reaches out and grips your own. Don't! She snaps. You turn angrily but are disarmed by her smile. I thought you would prefer to ride up front with me and my mute driver, Petulengro. Besides, my living quarters are in such a mess. Keeping a tight rein on your suspicions, you follow the clown to the front of the wagon and take your seat as the wheels start to roll. The convoy makes excellent time. While you ride, will you ask the clown about the madness at Gaunt, turn to 116, about the Circus of Dreams, turn to 165, about events at Karnstein, turn to 130, or would you rather sit the ride out in silence, turn to 39? Okay, there's the clown herself. Okay, we're going to ask her about the madness at Gaunt and turn to 116. Gaunt, she asks lightly. Yes, we were there until yesterday when everything seemed to go insane. Indeed, it was the barbaric, crazy behaviour of the townsfolk that led to our premature and hurried departure. We were frightened for our very lives. My magician, Monte Cafisto, reckons that it must have been something in the water. You notice a hint of a smirk pass fleetingly over the clown's lips. But what about you? She asks lightly. Would you care to join the Circus of Dreams permanently? Will you answer yes, turn to 148, or no, turn to 103? We're going to answer no, and turn to 103. As casually as you can, you reply, no, I'm needed elsewhere. The clown glowers at you for an instant, then she smiles, and the moment passes. Restore 1 luck point and turn to 39. Need we restore a luck point? No, we haven't used any. Okay, we're going to turn to 39. Whoops. After a day of hard but swift travel, the circus stops on the north side of a huge stone bridge on the outskirts of Shattuck. The menacing range of mountains known as the Witch-Tooth Line is clearly in sight, running before you like the teeth of a loathsome earth dragon. You stretch your stiff legs as the troop unload the wagons and start to put up the tents and stalls. They intend to perform this very evening. When all is finished, 3 of the performers ride on into Shattuck to drum up custom. The remaining 9 gather in a circle round a campfire. There they eat and discuss the coming performance. For some reason you are excluded from both the meal and the discussion. You walk about the encampment in a nervous and restless mood. You have a number of vague suspicions and feel that you must do something about these circus folk before the people from Shattuck arrive. If the name Corin means anything to you, turn to 51. If it does not, turn to 255. Okay, the name Corin does not mean anything to us, so we're turning to 255. There we go. As all the performers are tied up at the campfire meeting, now seems like a good time to investigate the circus. Will you search the clown's wagon? Turn to 333. Search the big top? Turn to 179. Search the Hall of Dreams wagon? Turn to 387. Try and hear what's being said around the campfire? Turn to 302. Or rush all 9 of them in a surprise attack? Turn to 45. Okay, we're going to search the clown's wagon and turn to 333. There's some reason why she didn't want us in there, and we're going to find out. I hope. Yeah. Okay. Making sure that no one is watching, you creep round to the back of the clown's wagon and open the door. You sneak into the dark cabin and test your luck. If you're lucky, turn to 293. If you're unlucky, turn to 345. Okay, let's test our luck. So our luck is 12, so we need this to be 12 or less, which is guaranteed. So, but we lose a luck point, so down to 11. Anyway, that was lucky. So now we're turning to 293 because we were lucky. Just inside the doorway stands a jack-in-the-box. Only this jack is a boxing glove on the end of a spring. You manage to duck just in time, and the glove punches a few splinters out of the door frame. Stepping round the box, you search the wagon. Only 2 items seem worthy of further investigation. At which will you look first? The safe, turn to 59, or a large book that is lying on the clown's desk, turn to 325. Okay, we're going to look at the safe and turn to 59. Oh yeah, that's one of those ones that's at the bottom. I'm glad I found this page in the last video. You open the safe and find 10 gold pieces, which you may take, add them to your hoard on your adventure sheet. Will do. Okay, so that is 10 gold pieces. That puts us up to 14 gold. There we are. You are about to go over to examine the book when you hear a noise outside. You decide you had better leave the wagon before you are discovered. Return to 255 and choose an option you have not picked before. 255. Okay, so here we are. We're going to search the Hall of Dreams wagon and turn to 387. It is with a sense of anticlimax that you discover that the Hall of Dreams is just a room full of bending, curving mirrors which ripple and distort your reflection in a supposedly humorous way. You're not laughing, and you're still not laughing when one of the mirrors disappears right before your very eyes, revealing a small stone chamber beyond. A chamber which cannot possibly be real, since there is no way it could fit inside the wagon. You lift your hand and move it slowly through the mirror frame. The room is real. Looking inside, you see a man-sized shape leaning against a stone slab. It is alive with all sorts of fearsome growths, and a mesh of revolting veins hangs down from it to the floor, where they are wrapped round the withered carcass of a badger. The veins have sucked all the life juices out of the poor animal. Without warning, another mesh of veins shoots out towards you but falls short. If you have read Hegmar's warning, turn to 204. If you have not, you may either touch the mesh of veins, turn to 371, attack the foul creature, turn to 157, or leave the place altogether. If you decide to leave, return to 255 and pick an option you have not chosen before. Okay, where's this badger? Oh, there's the badger. Yeah, there it is. Sinister face above the mirror there. Anyway, we have, or rather, yeah, we have read Hegmar's warning. Yeah, Hegmar's warning. If we defeat it, yeah, we have Hegmar's warning. That's all it says, really. Yeah, that's the only warning we have. Anyway, so we're going to turn to 204. Let's just have another look at the picture. There we go, lovely. So 204, here we come. Was it luck or fate that guided you to that vital page in Hegmar's sanctum? Whatever the answer, you thank Hegmar, wherever he may be, for his warning. Then you take down one of the flaming torches that are fixed to the wall and use it to set the nascent mandrake alight. A revolting smell fills the air as the pod shrivels and sizzles to its doom. You may restore 1 luck point for your narrow escape. There is nothing else to be done here, so return to 255 and choose an option you have not picked before. Okay, so we're going to luck point back. Let's do that. That puts you back up to 12 luck. Good. Right, we're returning to 255. Okay, now we're going to rush all 9 of them in a surprise attack and turn to 45. If you have read either Hegmar's Warning or the Circus Journal, turn to 17. If you have read neither, turn to 315. Well, we have read Hegmar's Warning, so let's turn to 17, which is here. There's no time to waste. You race forward and kick or push or grab and hurl any of the circus people who come within your reach to do whatever you can to send their bodies falling onto the campfire. Roll 1 die and add 2. The total rolled equals the number of mandrakes you managed to destroy out of the original 9. Okay, so roll 1 die and add 2. Let's do that now. That gives 4 in total, so we've defeated 4 mandrakes. Next, if you have any skins of oil, you may light them and throw them at the remaining mandrakes. For each skin of oil you cross off your adventure sheet, you may destroy 2 mandrakes. Any mandrakes you destroy come from the bottom of the list below. You must fight all the remaining ones at the same time. Though mandrakes are not killed by normal combat, any you beat will be stunned for a few precious moments, allowing you to throw their bodies onto the fire. Okay, and there's the clown, obviously. Anyway, so yeah, so do we have any skins of oil? We have 2 additional skins of oil, so we managed to defeat 4 of them, plus each skin of oil gives us to destroy another 2 mandrakes, so we defeated 4, and we have 2 skins of oil that defeats another 4, because each skin of oil will destroy another 2. Yeah, so that will use up. I'll just say naught now because I've used them all up. So that was 4 plus 4, which is 8. Therefore, we've killed 8 of them. So we only have the clown with whom to deal. Okay, so we just have to fight the clown now. Yeah, so all we have to do is fight the clown. So clown 9 and 10. So let's fight the clown. Just need to make another few of these. There we go. Okay, so clown 9 and 10. Yes, I did that right, didn't I? I rolled a 2, add 2 to that. That gives me 4. So I managed to destroy 4 of the 9 mandrakes. Then I used 2 skins of oil, and each skin of oil destroyed another 2. So that's 2 times 2, which is 4, another 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8. So I've destroyed 8 of them. So only the clown remains. Okay, good. Just checking I did that right. Okay, so we're now fighting the clown. My skill is 12. Clowns is 9. So let's do this. Okay, 9 plus 10 is 19. I get 20. So 19 to 20. Whoops, my hand has pins and needles there from holding the mouse. Okay, so that takes it down to 8. And if I get hit, I only lose 1 point of stamina. Right, okay. 9 plus 4 is 13. I get 19. So 13 to 19. Down to 6. 9 plus 11 is 20. I get 14. So 20 to 14. Puts me down to 21, but I have to lose a chainmail hit. There we go. Nine plus 6 is 15. I get 19, so 15 to 19. Puts him down, or puts her down to 4. 9 plus 6 is 15. I get 21, so 15 to 21. Down to 2. 9 plus 8 is 17. I get 22, so 17 to 22. That's the end of Mrs. Clown, or Miss Clown, whoever. Or Ms. Clown. Yeah, so I've defeated the clown mandrake. So 197, here we come. The whole circus becomes one great funeral pyre. You stand and watch as the flames leap high into the sky. Now the stench of mandrakes burning is indescribable. As you look on, Jack in the Green appears by your side. Earth Mother is pleased with her champion. She sends 2 gifts. The first is this. He hands you a ring of destiny. From now on, whenever you are lucky at testing your luck, you do not have to subtract a luck point. As long as you have the ring, you need only ever lose luck points if you are unlucky or if you are instructed to do so by the text. Okay, so I have a ring of destiny. I'll note that. Ring of destiny. When testing luck, don't deduct a luck point if I am lucky. Whoops, need a parenthesis there. Okay, good. Now the second gift is knowledge. The man of numbers is a native of Shattuck. Then the ever-elusive figure is gone. Just note that in the information. The man of numbers is a native of Shattuck. Shattuck. Whoops, there's a superfluous capital there. Okay. Then the ever-elusive figure is gone. Grateful for the Earth Mother's help, you move further on and rest for the night in a quiet field. When you wake up, restore 2 stamina points. Will do. 22. When you wake up, restore 2 stamina points, you make your way into Shattuck. The small town is refreshingly quiet and untroubled. You need to find this man of numbers, and the only way to do so is by asking around. Will you start your search in the stores, turn to 391, the taverns, turn to 209, or the town square, turn to 27? Okay, I will do so in the next video. So I'll note the paragraph, which is 197, and I shall thank you for watching and hope you can join me for the next part. Thanks again, and goodbye.